All right, all right. Marlon Weems here with my pal Arturo Dominguez. Still feeling out our new toys.
Yeah,
Well, as I say every time that we meet up, there's just not much to talk about.
never is, man.
I was trying to write down, just some bullets, and man, I was hard pressed.
We
I
live in a
tell you,
we
man,
live in a
this
boring country.
yeah, I know. If we could just it's just a little bit too fast. I mean,
Yeah,
hey, anyway, of course, unfortunately, we're joking. And by the way, I'm Marlon Weems, Arturo Dominguez. Arturo is the publisher of, well, you speak for yourself.
well, I
You can tell
published
your story.
I published antagonistmag.com, chief, editor in chief there, and then I pretty much cross publish everything at Decolonized Journalism here on Substack, and do investigative work, a lot of stuff on Latin America, Cuba, immigration, things like that, policing, human rights focused stuff. Yeah,
He makes it sound easy, folks, but
it's not.
he's one of the hardest working independent journalists that I know,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
especially on issues south of the border. And of course, that's a hard act to follow. But I'm Marlon Weems, and all I do is publish the Journeyman newsletter, which we're trying to branch out a little bit. I'll be
Yeah.
like Arturo when I grew up. Now we're simulcasting on YouTube and different platforms. So we're all out here doing our best. So Arturo, what's your top story? What do you?
Man, for me, it's going to be the whole attempted attack on Cuba. It's got to be. That
Well,
has to be the dumbest thing ever.
I thought it was going to be a friendly takeover. Isn't that?
Oh,
what
no, yeah, that's after. Now it's a friendly takeover. Yeah.
I see.
Friendly takeover is a bit of an oxymoron, but, you don't take over anything in a friendly way.
Yeah, it's that's some of that Orwellian,
Right. Yeah. Right.
double speak, I guess.
Yeah.
So, we before we came on, I said to you, we're basically at war with everybody. Well, we're at war with everybody, and the folks, almost everybody, and the folks we're not at war with, we're raising their tariffs. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
I
where we
mentioned
are.
I mentioned during a live earlier today, the Friday rant, that I think the Donald Trump is about to find out why the United States never went into full scale war with Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, and all these countries, because it's all about to blow up in his face.
Especially Iran.
Yeah.
I don't even honestly, I can't figure out what the problem is. I mean, just look at it. Okay. So Obama cuts a deal. If he had just left that alone,
Yeah.
because he could have taken credit for it, he would have. And
Yeah.
but now, I don't know. It's the same thing he did with the, what is it now? The NAFTA. What was
Oh,
NAFTA?
the USMCA, whatever.
USMCA. Yeah. Again, he could have just tweaked it.
Yeah. Right.
But he's the kind of guy that's got to break something, and then he wants credit for putting it back together.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That you're seeing that with Cuba, right? The friendly takeover. You're seeing that again, like you said, with Iran, with Venezuela. I mean, even with China, if it's not an all out war, it's an economic war. And when it comes to the economic war, he pretty much declared war on everybody, including an island with just penguins on it. So
that's one for the books, man.
It is for the books.
Yeah, putting a tariff on an island with no people.
Right, just penguins. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, to go back to this boating attack thing, I published an article today, because as details emerge, these guys' motivation is becoming very, very clear. some of these guys, what's crazy to me is some of these guys I reported on in 2023.
Like
And
who?
there's this one guy, Kiki. He goes by Kiki Naranjo. There's two other guys that are on a terrorism list with the UN. And then there's a handful of other dudes. And this Kiki Naranjo guy, talk about ballsy. He spoke to NPR today and admitted, like, straight up, yeah, we've been recruiting people for years online. And I'm like, dude, you're almost reading my article word for word, because this is what I was reporting on.
Right.
And one of the guys that was killed, the first one that was named, is somebody I named in 2023. And, in 2023, these guys were openly organizing on Facebook and YouTube. And they're like telling each other, we don't have to worry about federal law enforcement. They ain't going to mess with us because it's Cuba. And I guess they were right, because here we are in 2026 and they carried out an attack that they've been planning for years. And then, their families, they're talking to journalists all over the place, the AP to NBC affiliate in Miami. And they're all saying the same thing. Yeah, these guys went over there to try to overthrow the government, to foment some
How
kind
many
of
them were there?
There was one boat with 10 people on it that the Cubans, got into a gun battle with. Two family members in Miami have told Javier Diaz at Univision that there was initially two boats with 10 people each on it. So some of them dudes that are talking to the media who are on this Cuba list, I'm wondering if they were on this second boat. Yeah.
So they thought like 20 guys could go and just overthrow the Cuban government?
Yeah, their plan was to go into Villa Clara, and they presume that that's the weakest military installation on the island. And the idea was to cut off the east end of the island from the west end of the island. And after they, take over Villa Clara, they were going to start moving west. This was all based on the presumption that the Cubans on the island would back them up. And man, when they tried two of these attacks in like 2024, both of them failed. One, the dude made it on a jet ski from Florida to
What?
from Florida to Cuba, 90 miles on this rigged out jet ski with this huge engine on it. And
Wow.
he actually made it to the island with a handful of guns. And as soon as Cubans saw him, they ratted him out. They're like, oh, no, call the cops. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
like they're not, yeah.
Surely, does our government sort of know that these guys are doing this? Or
they have to.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm asking, because it just seems like it would be hard to plan this sort of operation without people noticing.
Yeah, and I mean, they're doing it openly on posting videos on Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
this one was coordinated on TikTok of all places. So yeah, it's crazy how all these people are willingly admitting that, yeah, this is what they went to do. Yeah, they stole a boat. Yeah, they had a ton of guns.
So what's our government doing?
Right now, the FBI, according to the NBC affiliate in Miami, a couple of times that they went to go interview like a family member, they've seen the FBI at those people's houses. So there's an investigation going on. And this Javier Diaz guy from Univision says that these guys trained on a Miami area farm or ranch for months and bought up all these weapons. And he knows the location of this ranch, but won't release it. And this Javier Diaz guy, he's trying to say the Cubans that went to the island weren't terrorists. They trained for months and started acquiring weapons to carry out this action. I'm like, you just described terrorists, bro. What the fuck?
Okay. So, maybe he shouldn't be the spokesman. I mean,
yeah. So I think, the families are trying to portray these guys as heroes. So they think that by telling this story, I guess, that they're going to be looked at as heroes in the U.S. And like, that may be true in Miami, but outside that bubble, people are like terrorists. This is terrorism.
That's crazy. I heard the story and I thought it might be some sort of CIA operation that, know, but what you're describing is.
Well, here's the thing.
Some guys on the internet, huh?
Right. If the feds looked the other way, like CIA looked away, or the FBI looked away, then these are FBI and CIA backed plots. They allowed it to happen. That means they backed it. So
tacitly,
maybe they didn't And you know, when it comes to this kind of dark money stuff, funding these operations, you know, CIA gets their money from all kinds of illicit activities, drug smuggling, things like that. There's no
Right.
telling. There's no telling what money changed hands. And I mean, the only way to track them down is look for one, talk to the dude who owns the farm/ranch.
Mm-hmm.
That'll open some doors, and then start tracking major gun purchases. Some of these, one of the guys that was killed, him and his son owned a gun store in Miami, or I should say still owned. I mean, one of the guys, he's dead, but they sold all the AK-47s, they sold all kinds of weapons, and I'm pretty damn sure that's where all these guys got their guns. There's video floating around of this guy and his dad bragging about how the AK-47s they sell with a composite grip are superior to the AK-47s the Cuban military has with a wood grip. I'm like, bro,
This is
the bullet is still going to blow right through you. It doesn't matter what the grip is. You know what I mean? It's so stupid.
Yeah, you're not going to know when you're dead. I mean,
right. Nobody cares about the grip.
Really, I wonder what model that was.
Right. As you're dying. Right?
Yeah, that is really almost sounds made up. I mean,
it's crazy. It's crazy. And I think, you know, after the July, this started building up after those July 11, 2021 protests in Cuba, where a lot of the Cuban American influencers were like kind of upset that they didn't mount an attack then and try to exploit the protests. This time around, some of the family members are suggesting that they were trying to exploit the suffering that's on the island, that they thought for sure Cubans would take their side because the situation is so bad. What they didn't,
America's the cause of that, right?
Right. And the thing about it on the island, everybody's mad at the US. They're not mad at their government, you know. So again, the whole thing was stupid.
Yeah, there's some military geniuses, sounds like.
Yeah. And one guy, man, it kills me, man. One guy was here 21 years. He's a truck driver. You know, he had a good life. He was doing the thing, and he was killed in the boat. And his wife was like, I had no idea. His daughter had no idea. But apparently everybody else,
he was planning this. They didn't know.
They had no idea. They didn't find out that he was a part of it till they got a phone call from the feds telling him that he was killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's if that were the only thing that's happening, that would be enough, right?
Yeah.
Just before I came on, you know, there's been this back and forth that's been going on between the Pentagon and Anthropic, which
is so crazy.
It's it's one of the biggest AI companies. If you use Claude, that's their product. So, you know, it's like Chat GPT or a chat bot, whatever. And it's pretty. So here's what the kerfuffle is. The Pentagon basically wants unfettered access to their AI, not just the regular AI that we get to use, but what's called the agentic, you know, AI that'll do shit by itself.
Right.
Like look at a situation and then decide how to act. And Anthropic, which is, I guess, kind of weird in a good way, because we have over the last year, all these tech companies have just been acting so egregiously.
Mm-hmm.
Anthropic basically said, you know, our moral code just won't allow us to just give this to you and let you just run with it. Right. And they wanted to they wanted to basically, I mean, their fear was that, you know, you could be out here having, you know, automated war with somebody, you know, or just, So, I mean, we're talking, you know, Skynet stuff, Terminator. And so the government basically said, well, that's what we want. And either you're going to give it to us, or maybe we'll do the Defense Production Act and just force you to do it.
Yeah.
And so basically, you know, fast forward to, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, Anthropic had told them, you know, no thanks. So what they've done is basically said, declared Anthropic a supply chain risk. Now, this
Yeah.
is the kind of thing that usually is reserved for a situation. I'm trying to think of the company maybe 5 years ago. Um, Maybe we were using their phones or there was something,
Oh yeah,
and the
Huawei.
company had. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a vendor that's using some product, or maybe they're doing something with China with an adversary, that's not what's happening here. So as a result of what they've done, every employee in the government has got to remove whatever anthropic product that they're using all through the entire government.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty notable to me to see a company basically stand up and say, we're
Right.
not, we're not going to bend the knee. On the other hand, when the when the stock market opens tomorrow, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Anthropic, because essentially they've lost the biggest client that they possibly could ever have. Now, it may, somebody's going to have to blink.
Yeah.
I would think. I think, taking it a step further, it kind of opens the door now for some of these other companies. But man, I wouldn't put nothing from XAI on on my computer for all the money. I mean, because it's Elon Musk and his stuff
Right.
is sketchy. So then you got, there's some other vendors. I mean, there's OpenAI, so it's just really something you just don't see.
Yeah. It's I'm with Anthropic on this, right? So they're
Yeah.
afraid they're going to use the AI to conduct attacks, and drone strike people and automated warfare, that kind of thing. And I totally agree that this is, you're treading on dangerous ground. They have $300 million contract on the line, and I guess they're willing to lose it. The thing is
that's what caught my attention. I was just waiting, as the days have gone by. I was just like, okay, there's going to be some, they gave them, I guess, until 5 o'clock today.
right.
And Anthropic just said,
Yeah.
nope. And I was surprised in a good way.
Right. But it's what is scary is who's going to come in and fill that void. And if they do, they know they have to be willing to let the government use it.
Yeah,
that's where you
the second
mentioned
thing. We're gonna see whose
right
morals are fun, flexible.
Yeah, you already know Elon Musk is going to be chomping at the bit, and I mean the minute you throw,
and I suspect he'll probably get it. It just, I mean, I can understand why a company wouldn't want that taint on them. You know what I'm saying? If like, I don't know, a year from now we look up and a freaking town gets wiped out by a drone attack,
right?
And it's their product. Now, Palantir probably won't give a shit. That's who probably they could care less. They're doing worse. They're doing worse stuff than that anyway.
Yeah, one of the things Anthropic was pushing back on was, facial recognition and AI to track people. Well, I mean, Palantir has that with the Immigration OS operating system. I mean, that tracks everybody. It might be called Immigration OS, but I mean that database runs, over $200 million or 200 million of, homeowners' utility bills, their driver's license info. Like, I mean,
wait, what is this product? What is it?
Immigration OS. Immigration OS. Yeah, and it has access to all, Homeland Security data, and Homeland Security data is all, Thomson Reuters sold them the utility information for 218 million households in the US. They have, all the information off of 3 out of 4 driver's licenses. That's not an operating system that's just for immigrants when they're putting all of our information in there too. And it's just like these detention centers and these warehouses they're building. Why do you need so many for people you're taking out of the country? And like, eventually that's going to be used against the same people that they're tracking in the software, us. So, we're kind of getting into dystopian territory. And I know we've been getting to this point for a long time, but I think we're at the culmination point where we have warehouses, and we have, secret police who are surveilling everything. And, again, I don't see how these people didn't see these guys from Florida, when they have all this
I
information
know
on us.
they're literally like making videos
Yeah.
of their
Yeah, they are.
progress.
And
And
it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
yeah. And then of course there's Epstein.
Yeah.
So I actually had a great conversation a few hours ago with Ellie Leonard, who covers this. And my first question to her was, how what's your skill set that allows you to absorb, just that kind of it's just dark stuff. And yeah, we had a really interesting conversation. And as a matter of fact, at the time that we were talking, Bill Clinton was testifying, which is a whole nother story. What's your take on that?
Man, I don't know that Bill or Hillary are going to reveal anything that we don't already know.
I mean, Hillary says she never even met the guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's pictures. I don't know. Some people say she did.
I saw some pictures that were they were purported to be. Now, Bill, for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, wasn't Epstein at
he was at their dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hillary said that she wasn't the one that got the invite. It was another person, and she was that person's plus one. So,
Gotcha.
the thing about this guy is, and it kind of reminds me of Trump in a way, that ability to make people want to be around him, and I mean, these people seem enamored with him. And I mean, just like he's got this circle, and look, I mean, on paper, guys at the right age, he's not bad looking, and he's got all kinds of money, and he knows everybody. If you're on that scale, you would probably want to know that guy. But then to me, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out something's not right. You got 15 girls that look like they're in junior high school running around. What's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people say things like this about like serial killers, that like they have this power to like make people like them. I don't think they have any special power. Just some people are likable people.
Yeah.
And I don't see Jeffrey Epstein as somebody I probably would have hung around with, but I can see why there's that appeal. Maybe he was a likable guy. Maybe he was charming. He definitely had money. He definitely had connections, so if you're,
I could see him if you just, when there was a point when nobody really knew what the story was.
Right.
This guy. And it just seems like he's kind of an enigma, this guy that's rich and nobody really knows what he does. And, he's got an island. He's not even old. So how does he have all this? That's the thing to me that's just fascinating.
Yeah.
That how does this guy have all this money? There's not like an origin story that he, hit it big and I don't know, in the stock market or something, or he sold a company. No.
Yeah.
This guy it's just a very strange story.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's got to be a spy.
Right. Didn't he charm his way to being a teacher without credentials?
Well, yeah.
He somehow convinced Les Wexner to let him handle his billions of dollars. So yeah, this dude was probably a spy, and a charming one at that.
Okay. So this guy was at one of the more, I don't know the particular, school, but one of the, upper echelon of private schools in New York City, in Manhattan. The person who hires him is Bill Barr's dad.
Oh, that's bad. This is bad.
He hires this guy as a math teacher, and he has no qualifications whatsoever. Not a degree, not a certificate. He doesn't have anything. So, at some point he gets fired, and I just know the, sort of the highlights. At some point he gets fired and lands a job at fucking Bear Stearns.
Yeah, right. See
what? Wait, how? I mean, how does he go from he's a teacher at a, just a private school, and his follow-up job, he gets fired from that, and Bear Stearns is where which incidentally, I've got my vintage Bear Stearns sweatshirt on. I never worked there. I was in some contest or something, where you sell enough of their stuff. I didn't even know I was in the project until they brought me the sweatshirt. I didn't even know what, I'm just trying to make money, man.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this
free sweatshirt.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll take it.
Right.
Didn't know it would become sort of a conversation piece, but
no kidding.
There it is. I mean, if I'd taken better care, hell, it might have been worth something if I didn't wear it every other day, for
might
15
be,
years.
Yeah.
Still, maybe I should put it on eBay or something. Just see
You
what I
never
can
know.
get for it. Hey man, this might be the only one left.
Never know,
Who
man.
knows? I mean, if I worked at Bear Stearns, I probably would be burning my stuff right. I mean, right when
I'm
that
sure.
stuff happened.
Yeah. You wouldn't have the sweatshirt.
Oh man, I'd be pissed. Listen, I was working there during those days, man. And one day I was sitting in Lehman Brothers,
No.
up on, I don't know what floor it was. And one of my colleagues on the desk and I were just waiting to meet with whoever we were there to see. And man, it was right before they went under. And you could just feel like the Grim Reaper was walking through the halls or something. I mean, people were just waiting on the axe to fall,
Yeah.
But anyway, man, it's just, and that's why I guess to me, the idea that this guy just sort of lands at Bear Stearns,
Yeah.
that's just something.
It's his whole rise to popularity and money has always been a gray area. Like, it's
Well, and
like
nobody seems to be asking about it. It's like something out of one of those fairy tales, right? Like this prince just shows up. I mean, this guy, again, school teacher, not even college. This is like, I don't know what, the equivalent of junior high or something. And he gets fired and he pops up at at that point, Bear Stearns was probably one of the top 5, not what we call bulge bracket firms. Yes, but it maybe not the top tier, but right up there.
Right.
And that's how, now I also read, and, I'm sure folks will check me on this, but I think that, the CEO of Bear Stearns had maybe a connection to the school. So maybe that was, his end, but still he wasn't even qualified for the job he got fired from.
Right.
So hey, nice work if you can get it.
Yeah. I don't even know that he came from money or anything. Like, you can trace Trump's wealth back to some inheritance.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You can trace a lot of these people's wealth back to some inheritance, but when it's Epstein, man, it's just like out of nowhere. And you have to really wonder about these connections to, Israeli intelligence, Mossad, CIA, things like that. Because somebody pointed out how you don't see the CIA in the Epstein files. And that's kind of interesting because,
and we know that
the CIA does blackmail.
Well, so, that also, I guess the connection with, Ghislaine Maxwell, her dad's Robert Maxwell, and he was another one that just was kind of a, sketchy guy, multimillionaire.
Yeah.
But there was always the, talk that he was connected to, Mossad. So, yeah. And, it's crazy. There's so much going on that Ellie and I didn't even talk about any of this. There's so much, in terms of just the Epstein files. I mean, we didn't even get into his backstory because it's so crazy. I mean, but, we mostly stuck to just, the fact, what's Hillary Clinton testifying for? You know, they
Yeah.
just ran out of questions for her. Literally.
I've read some think pieces over the last couple of days, and a few people have brought up a good point that Republicans may not have realized the door they opened by dragging a former president and his wife back into Congress, because now they might drag Trump and Melania back in there.
And you just look at the difference. I mean, like I said, Hillary Clinton is like 2 steps away from even having met the guy. And on the other hand, you got Trump, Melania, and Maxwell, and they're all, you know, there's pictures of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they were fake, believe me, they would.
Hey, Natasha says in the comments on Substack that the CIA is in there, that it's referenced by other people in the Epstein files. So that's interesting.
Okay.
I'm really curious of the references, but like we talked about before we came live, was I'm not so sure that I could dig into these Epstein files just because of how crazy, and you know, as a survivor of sexual assault when I was a kid, like you know what I mean?
I didn't know that, man. I don't think I knew.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know that I could get into all that, even if I wasn't. You know, it's just so terrifying, man. The whole thing. It's
pretty scary stuff. And for me, you know, for me, man, it's like one of the things that I think you said it. These are people that have children of their own, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them have daughters or had daughters, and it's just really, it's just the idea that you know that it's going on is bad enough. And that's why I know a little bit about his, you know, sort of origin story, but the actual, you know, filth of it all, I just don't. There's just a lot I don't want to know. It's just,
and you know,
it's too much.
Right. And this is one of those things, somebody's, you know, saying that we're acting like there's 2 sides to this, like Republican, Democrat. And when it comes to when it comes to this stuff, this transcends politics. This kind of shit doesn't.
If they had some of the stuff on Bill or Hillary Clinton,
dude,
that you know, just the basic stuff, oh, he could go away as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I'm all for anybody in there.
Let's just put a pause on it right for a second. I mean, I just wanted to be clear, and I think that's by and large the difference in Democrats and you know, politically, the way they're acting, because I don't care who it is. I really don't. It just so happens, and I heard something today. I didn't realize that Epstein, I guess, you know, he gave a lot of money to Democrats. So there's no reason. I mean, as a matter of fact, Obama's chief legal counsel, the woman, I can't, Romer, I think is her last name. Oh, she's done. She worked at Goldman Sachs. She was like their chief legal counsel or something. I mean, she's lost her career over this, because I guess there were emails going back and forth and they were really chummy. And we're talking about after this guy's already gone to jail and everybody knows what kind of guy he is.
Right.
That's, I guess, the difference for me with Bill Clinton. I don't think, you know, we're talking about 2009, maybe, I think, was when he was interacting with this guy that we know about. You know, and it was before that. So rich guy, you know, he's a donor, basically.
Yeah.
So I look at that differently than I do the people who, after this guy, even though it was a sweetheart deal, you know, it's not like it's not like he did time for fraud, you know.
Right.
You can reform, you can come back from that. But this was sexual stuff, and just, you know, coercive and violent and whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, and again, you know, this is, you know, there's no politics involved in this. Everybody needs to fry. You know, I see, you know, in Europe, you see people getting arrested. You've seen Sultan, I can't remember which Sultan, he got ousted, you know, they're just for having connections to Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people losing their jobs, their careers, their everything.
Oh, this is making us look bad. as a
Bad,
country.
very bad, very bad. And
Because
like, you're not
I
gonna
mean, you
you
think
can't
about
convince
what
other.
happened to Andrew, man. That's
Oh
just
man, yeah, yeah. Like you can't convince other countries we're the good guys. Like we want to bring American democracy. Everybody's like, hell no,
it's
hell
over.
no, we don't want that
No,
shit
no,
over here.
we're good. We're good.
Hell no,
Yeah.
keep that democracy over there. We're fine. Yeah, it's just it really is just, so many people in the White House right now are tied to this. And
Howard Lutnick.
yeah, man,
And
like
they're just not the smartest people. I mean, why would he get up and tell such a huge lie? He had to know that it's eventually these files are going to come out.
right.
And so that's the part I don't understand. I mean,
That's the same thing like the
I don't
QAnon
even
thing.
think he had to say a lot. He could have just said,
No.
yeah, I knew him. But no, he told this big story of, meeting the guy and being so appalled that he just never wanted to be around him again.
Yeah.
That's just dumb. Nobody asked him all that.
Yeah.
He could, he could have just said, yeah, I knew him and just sort of blown it off. But he tells that big story, and then we find out he's actually been to the island later, not, later, years later. He and his wife, who he originally told us they were repelled by the guy, but they went to the island and took their kids and their nannies.
That's creepy,
Florida.
man. That makes it so much worse.
Yeah, it's like, dude, okay. So you went to the island with your children after this guy had been, done time for children. What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
That's not a good story.
No.
I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just all of it. He could have not said any of it and he'd have been in the clear, possibly.
Yeah.
But now, if there was anybody that was just going to like leave the cabinet, it would be him. He might have to, you know what? He may end up being where, Trump, somebody's got to pay. It ain't going to be him.
Yeah. There's always a fall guy around Trump.
Yeah. There's somebody.
Yeah.
So it might be Ludnick. And he's a billionaire. He'll be okay.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like he needs a job.
He can, right.
Matter
he can go hide in his mansion the rest of his days and he'll be doing just fine. Well,
as a matter of fact, that may be the plan. Because let me tell you, because Howard Lutnick's two sons are running the firm that he left, the one that, I used to be on the second floor, and their trading operation was on the third floor. So, we knew each other. And I mean, so those guys are running the firm. And apparently they have this, and this isn't illegal, but it's just because of the connections. It's just one more, I don't know if grift is the right word, but it's just one more of those things where the cronyism starts to come through. And so what they have been doing is, without getting into the weeds, basically, they've been doing basically default finance, something like that. So in other words, people, let's just say XYZ company feels like they're owed, I don't know, $10 million because of tariffs. Well, before the Supreme Court made their ruling, we didn't know whether it was going to get overturned or not. So in the meantime, you could go to Cantor and say, well, I don't want to take a chance that I'm going to get nothing, and Cantor says, well, I'll tell you what, we'll give you 3 cents on the dollar. So you get $3 million right now. And they get basically your claim for 10 million if the government pays, And so now what's happened is Supreme Court's made the ruling, and now it's up for companies to, get the government to pay, because, Trump, he ain't known for paying back money.
No.
Right? So now I think FedEx has filed a lawsuit. That's the first one that I've seen. wanting their tariff money. So Cantor stands to gain, and it's not sketchy. It's not illegal. It's, in the securities business, it's not an unusual thing. It's just
Right.
that when your dad is the commerce secretary and he's out there cheerleading tariffs, and
Yeah.
here you are over here saying, if dad's wrong, we're gonna make money one way or the other.
Right. I was wondering how that worked. I'd read
Yeah.
something about it. I'd read something about it, but I didn't have a complete understanding of it. And I
Well, that's
appreciate
it.
that because
I
now
mean,
I get it.
yeah, it's just basically, um, okay, I'll give you an example. Um, if you inherit some money,
Yeah.
there are companies out there, because the probate process could take,
Right.
depending on the size of the estate, it could take a year. But
Yeah.
maybe you need that money right now. There are companies out there that say, well, I'll tell you what, here's how much you're owed 10 grand, we'll give you 3, and you sign over your claim to us, and whenever the money comes through,
Yeah.
they get paid the actual amount.
Yeah. JG
And
Wentworth.
you've gotten the use of that money sooner than you would have, although it's a whole lot less. So
Right.
it's just a trade-off that, some people are willing to make. And in the case of tariffs with this Supreme Court, we didn't know. I mean, if you just looked at it from their previous behavior, there's a lot of stuff that seems obvious that they go the other way just because it's, it favors Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that bothers me is that, like, we consumers got stuck with the bill for the tariffs.
Yep.
Now everybody's going to come to the government to get their tariff money back. And guess who's paying that? The same people who paid the bill for the tariffs, us. So we're paying twice. Thanks,
I know,
Trump.
man. I know. It's just crazy.
This is just a crazy, unfettered capitalism. It's just backwards, man. They're just all
not
about wealth
good at it,
extraction.
man. I mean, if they were just going to be like super aggressive, that's one thing. But the stuff they're doing, tariffs shouldn't even be in the conversation. Tariffs should not be if they were going to get in there and, juice up the economy, and we're making money, and you're going to have some inflation, but you hope that, wages are going faster than inflation. Right.
Right.
And so they just aren't doing it right.
Right.
And they want the Fed to lower interest rates anyway.
Right. And they have a basic 2 + 2 logic to the economy. They don't clearly what we're seeing right now is what happens when you give billionaires power, right? They're doing stuff for their own self-interest, not in the interest of the government. They're like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to make billions.
Well,
let's do that.
And they're not even, I think we talked about this before. They're not even, like, you take these original, the OG billionaires, the Carnegies and Rockefellers and guys like that. It's not that they weren't greedy, but they made it look a hell of a lot better. They were like, you know what, let's build some big ass libraries, and let's, how about a cross-continental railroad? I mean, there's something that served a purpose, and they seem worried about their, they not
their
worried,
image,
but their image and their legacy and what people think about them after they're gone. This guy, when Trump leaves office, I don't know if you ever seen the 10 Commandments, the old Charlton Heston.
Yeah. Wow. I forgot about that one.
There's that scene where they give him a chance and he says, no, I don't want to be, I'm not going to be royal or whatever. And they just strike all his shit from the guy says, from every tablet, people, we're going to do him like he's doing Anthropic today. That's what's going to happen. Whoever comes behind him, they're going to take his name off everything. I wonder what's going to happen with that ballroom, because he's probably not. This guy, to be a builder, he just don't have it.
No. No.
I mean, that's the thing about it to me, just the mediocrity.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because didn't you, like, when you're growing up, you thought billionaires were smart people and they knew shit?
Yeah.
This guy's totally just that's gone. because
Yeah.
this is one of the dumbest guys he's smart enough to get to be president, but it proves that I guess you don't have to be that smart if you got enough money.
Yeah, apparently not. I mean, look at some of the people who get elected into Congress, and and we're talking both sides here. I'm not just trying to say Republicans,
Oh, listen.
although some Republicans are pretty fucking stupid. But
I see the Democrats, I feel like we've got enough smart people. Not that there aren't any dumb Democrats, but they
right.
usually don't make it past, like if it was the end, the final four, they don't make it past the first round.
Yeah.
The dumbass Democrats are just kind of in the background.
Yeah.
And I think the motivations are different because most of the sort of latest Republicans, they're just in it for the clicks, man.
Yeah.
They're just in it for the clicks and
for sure.
And going viral, and they make a bunch of money and they just go peace out like Marjorie Taylor Greene did.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have, she's over in the background. She'll say some stuff, but she stayed long enough to get her pension for life. And I saw somewhere that, her net worth was, I think she was probably worth $1 million, but now it's like
25.
Yeah.
When she came into Congress, it was under $1 million, and in like 6 years, it jumped to 25 million. I mean,
wait a minute. Did she ever get a bill, from start to finish? No, I don't know what the Marjorie Taylor Greene bill, what she should be known for. I don't think,
she's going to be known for being loud and essentially.
But in terms of some legislation.
Yeah. I don't know that there's anything.
It's just like Lauren Boebert
right.
yesterday.
Yeah, somebody mentioned her in the comments. Yeah.
You're sitting up in this supposed to be serious oversight behind closed doors. And what's she doing? Taking pictures and sending them to a podcast.
Being a troll. Right. Being a troll. Yeah.
It's just such a collection of unserious people, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, not to just go off and start bashing on Democrats, but you look at.
I'll go right ahead, please.
No, but you look at, for example, Trump, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to doing some side deal, trying to, avoid an all-out war with Iran. Chuck Schumer's over here posting stuff all over social media about it, saying no side deals. We need to know, why are you trying to make a deal with this oppressive and blah, 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 angry, negative.
So in other words,
he wants more. He wants war more than Trump does. And it's like, bro, do you not realize what you sound like? And he's all sitting in a chair, and you can tell he's got his phone on a thing, or his staffer's doing it and trying to be all, TikTok friendly. Well, and bro, you're just not that guy. Okay.
He's out there dropping F-bombs. So
no, he's not that guy, man. He's just not. So I don't.
It's just, with the readers kind of.
He had those on the whole time in the video, sitting in a chair.
Man, come on.
I call my readers Chuck Schumers.
It's 2 paragraphs, man. Come on. You just can you just remember it.
So
it's really almost like a caricature. And
it is.
That's the problem. It's part of the problem.
If we're going to talk stupidity in Congress, let's go. You know what I mean? That shit that Schumer did was freaking stupid. And I have a hard time giving everybody, all these dumbass Republicans, I have a hard time giving them a hard time and ignoring the dumbassery on the other side.
You can't. Yeah, it's a different kind. You got the will overthrow the government kind of, shenanigans. And then over on the Democratic side, you got the, gang that couldn't shoot straight kind of.
Yeah.
What is it? Stealing defeat from the jaws of victory or something. They just figure out how to fuck it up. Okay, so we got a few minutes left. Midterms coming up. So is Hakeem Jeffries in trouble now? They all have to run, right?
Is he trying to remember? Yeah, I don't know.
I
I don't
think
know that
he's running.
Jeffries. Huh?
Hey, I bet he hopes he's not running. But
Yeah.
doesn't everybody in the House have to run every 2 years, right?
Every 4.
Or
The
is it
Senate's
4?
every 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the
Civics
House.
people, come to our rescue. We don't know what we're talking about. Now, see that there we go, right there. I bet if we lived in Norway, we'd know we'd know our constitutional stuff. But no,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. 2-year terms for the House.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
And
So
six for the
so
Senate. Yeah.
everybody's up. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like Hakeem Jeffries he should be looking over his shoulder
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
could be
Schumer too. I like all these old guard
now.
Republicans. Should.
Schumer's not running now though, is he? And
I don't think so, but I mean,
no, it'll be. I think it'll be the next, 2 years later in the general,
right.
I guess. And
Yeah.
that might be AOC.
Might be if she's not, if she's not running for president, which a lot of people think she is. But
I think she could get there, but I feel like she might lose if she ran now. I feel like if she, I just can't see a person, and maybe it's happened, but she would be going from the House to the presidency. I'm not sure people would. I like her. I talk about her a lot, and I think she's very smart. But I feel like she's also gotten real quiet. I mean, she says the normal stuff like she should, but she's not out there like she has been. And I feel like maybe she's just sizing Chuck Schumer up.
Maybe.
And if he's smart, he'd go ahead and retire.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she'd beat him.
She would.
And I think her plan might be beat Schumer, do like Barack Obama, be a senator, and then whenever the next presidency comes around, that's when she runs.
That'd be the smarter
and by
move.
that time she would have been in for a minute.
Yeah.
And if she hadn't sold out too much.
Yeah, a lot of people keep pointing out how she's a lot like Nancy Pelosi when she was younger. She came in hot, all that stuff, and then started settling down and became establishment. And I can't say that I don't see that.
Let me tell you, man.
I like AOC. She's cool.
I mean,
me and her been cool, but
there's a framework that they got to work within, or they get nothing done. If
Right.
you're just going to be wild and out there singing shit and Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're going to get nothing done.
Yeah, true.
Okay? And she can just go on and, take the money and run. But I look at her in these hearings, and cats know when she's the one asking the questions, they better get their shit together and be buttoned up, because I'm gonna dig it up. It happened maybe a couple of weeks ago, and she has all these pharmacy, CVS and I guess Walgreens or whoever, and she's talking to I believe it was the CEO of CVS, and just walking through their business model. Man, I haven't seen, this guy was so uncomfortable, because what she was pointing out is that they're a monopoly.
Right.
They got all the way, from soup to nuts in the pharmaceutical chain, right? They're at every step. So that can't possibly be good for me or you, the consumer, right? Because there's just no competition. You're dealing with them whichever way you turn. So anyway, I'll post it. I'll try to dig it up. I'll tell you, my phone it's gotten out of control. Gotten out of control. Well, I've perfected my Instagram feed where I rarely see any stuff I don't want to see. And every time I run across something good, I download it. I know how I'm going to use it, but I download it. And then after a while, it's too much. Honestly. But so that'll give me a chance to. What I've been doing is labeling. You can write a little caption in there or whatever, and make it where I can delete stuff, and then I can search it up. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah. I see somebody in our YouTube comment said we need somebody like Condoleezza Rice. I was like, man, I'm about to walk away. I'm about to leave right now.
Wait,
The
wait
same
a
lady
minute.
who led us into a
Stop,
two-decade war.
stop playing with us.
Yeah, you gotta be
Stop
shitting
playing.
me, Condoleezza Rice.
They just
Hell no. Hell no. I'm about to leave. I'm telling you.
she's a nice lady, but you know, I don't have another global military blunder in me.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know,
Man,
she may not even be able to cause one because Trump's already got us going to war with everybody. We may not even.
Did you see the thing this morning? They closed the airspace around the El Paso airport again. And this time, get this.
These guys,
they're playing with their new laser. This time they shot down a border patrol drone. So we're at war with ourselves.
Dude, it's just
the incompetence, man.
It's like, honestly, it's like giving the keys of the car, you know, to your child who's in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you just go on out there and just, you know, go for it. Somebody's literally playing with a laser.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to kill somebody.
No, I'm telling you, dude, that could have been anything. It could have been anything, right? Yeah, it just so happened to be a drone. And
yeah, a couple weeks ago, it was a couple weeks ago, it was a party balloon. It's fucking stupid.
I know, man. It's like they must be trying to calibrate it.
Yeah,
it's something. Goes, you know, guys over there twisting around. Let me see what the setting is, and then it just goes. It's like, what was that? Oh man, that was a balloon.
Yeah, it's sad.
You know, and then he's like, okay, we got to tighten it up a little bit, and then you know,
I'm sure you're more right.
That was
than wrong.
A drone, man.
It's something stupid. It's something stupid.
I promise you, these guys are just incompetent, and
and it won't stop till they blow an airliner out of the sky or something.
They've already done that. I mean, you know, what was it? The helicopter, you know, running into a plane in DC, remember?
Yeah.
So that's close. So
yeah.
No, the next thing, man, pretty soon it's going to be like Hellfire missiles or something like that. I promise.
Yeah. And you know, the whole thing is that they keep claiming that cartels are flying drones cartels are not flying drones into the US. For what purpose? Most of their drugs get in here in containers and shit. They don't give a damn about the border.
Honestly, man, they've got tunnels all over the place. I mean, whatever they're doing okay. I mean, so I don't know why they would do something like that. It's just think about this, because we're hearing a lot about it, and maybe we can close on this, but like the whole idea of voter fraud, that's what they're going with.
Right.
You know, to justify, I guess, coming in and snatching old election results. And you know, I asked a guy one time that he said something like, I just don't want them coming over here voting. Like he was okay with them coming. I
remember the story. Yes. Yes.
And I asked the guy, I said, well, so how would they be doing all this voting, man? I mean, you know, it's not easy. You got to get a birth certificate. And I just kind of start rattling through the stuff. And the guy was just sitting there. He says, I hadn't even thought of that. It's like, I mean, but think about it. If you're you're in the country illegally, why would you want to mess it up by trying to go vote? I mean, why would you do that?
People don't understand that. That's exactly why.
That's the opposite of what you would do.
Immigrants don't commit crime for that reason. The last thing they want is some sort of contact with the cops. Right.
And honestly, he had never thought about it that way. It's not like, but when all you're watching is people telling you that there's a caravan, you know, like a freaking something coming across the desert full of people that are trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And I can understand why you might be a little misinformed. Well, man, time flies.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
It does. And you know, in this case, I'm glad we were able to do this and work out the bugs. You know, Friday might be a better day to do it anyway. Close out the week. I don't know.
Might be. Yeah.
We'll run it up the flagpole.
Yeah.
Do a survey, a study, commission, you know, a blue ribbon commission to figure out which day we should do this.
Of two.
Really, I appoint you and you appoint me, and we'll We'll
I mean,
come up.
we're so good we couldn't even come up with a name for the show.
I know it's yep. We're the guys for the job.
Oh shit!
No, I mean, you know what? I hope people enjoy this. We try to. I mean, look, there's a lot of bad shit going on, and I mean, pretty much every box that you would want to check, there's something bad happening in that area, and so, I mean, we want to inform, but also blow off a little bit of steam, and hopefully it's kind of a a little bit of a different sort of a change of pace about. I guess we could say reporting the news.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's we appreciate you guys for showing up and listening to our takes on what's happening. And we're independent journalists, so we depend on your support. So if you're able, please become a paid subscriber, and if you're not able, become a subscriber. We appreciate both of them. One of them just helps pay for headphones and all the infrastructure and maybe an occasional bill.
Yeah.
But anyway, man.
All right.
I guess I'll see you on the other side. All
right, guys.
And folks, take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye,
Peace.